Hello, hello. Welcome back to L Space. My name is Tristan, and today is the day that we do my projected readings for the month of May. I am not loving the angle of this. I wonder if me being on my knees is better. Ooh, this is gonna get painful quickly. Okay. um, So I have a little bit of an ambitious reading list this month. I don't think that I'm going to be able to get through all of them. I would be shocked if I do somehow manage to get through all of them, and you'll see in a second because quite a few of these are quite large. So I might push some of these books more toward the end of the month, push them into maybe June or something. June, I usually like to have it be a little bit more festive. It's usually a month that I read like only queer books, so we'll see. We'll see what we do. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with one of the books that was on my April TBR that I did not finish. I didn't get to, so I'm just moving it over to May because I feel like that's the easiest thing. It's still a book that I want to read, and it is one that I'm actually currently reading, and that is Wellness by Nathan Hill. And so far, it's very witty, very fun, and definitely highly satirical about just like the health industry of. It's not even the health industry, it's more just like health culture of like one of the examples that I can give you is it talks about raw hydrogen water, and I'm just like, that seems like such a weird gimmick, but it's also so poignant of like something that would be in a weird health thing, right? Like drinking celery water or just anything that Gwyneth Paltrow sells. So yes, this one is very funny. It's basically just about a modern marriage, people kind of struggling to connect in this day and age, and I'm enjoying it so far. It's quite funny, like I said, and I'll have more thoughts on it obviously later. Yep, and there's Wally. She's coming to say hi. Let's see if she knocks over the camera. We'll see. Anyway, so that's Wellness. So the next two are going to be ones that I'm reading sort of over a period of time. It's over a longer period of time. They're not going to be ones that I am restricting myself to in the month of May. One of them is Comme Toi, which is by Lisa Jewell, and this is translated from English, hilariously enough, into French by Adèle Roland-Ledem, and this is a thriller. The original title is Then She Was Gone, and it's about a girl who disappears at the age of 18. Her mother never successfully grieved, and 10 years later, this broken woman must resolve herself to turning the next page in her life. Anyway, it's about her daughter who disappears and sort of the ramifications of that, and her maybe finding her daughter at another point in time. The next book that I'm looking to read this month is El Ojo de Agua. Now, this is one of the ones that I picked up in Puerto Rico. I don't know if that vlog is going to drop before this video drops. But anyway, this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler for the book haul that I'm doing. But this is I'm going to shift positions because my legs hurt. Okay, ouch. So this is one of the books that I picked up in Puerto Rico at one of the bookshops that we went to. I speak French. I read in French, but I also am like mediocre in Spanish, but I'm good enough in Spanish to where I could read a book. I've never read a book in Spanish, and it's been a long time since I've done any sort of like formal study of the language. So I wanted to pick up one of the books. I wanted to pick up a book in Spanish so that I could increase my language. Basically, it's just like I want to read to learn and pick up more vocabulary and kind of increase my understanding of certain expressions and verbs and verb tenses, etc. This is also a thriller, and part of the part of the book haul, or part of like my challenge for myself, was to get books written by Puerto Rican authors, and this is definitely one of them. It takes place in the 60s, in the city of Aguadilla, and it deals with sort of like military secrets and the presence of the military. I don't know too much about it and I think that with thrillers, I try to know as little as possible. I just know that I'm very curious about reading Puerto Rican fiction, especially one that deals with, it seems like, a little bit more of a political topic, but we'll see. But yeah, so that is El Ojo de Agua by Evelyn Jimenez, and I'm very excited to get to this one. This one will probably be something that is spaced out over several months, because I'm going to go quite slow. I'm going to try to like learn vocabulary as we go, and I'm probably also going to do a video of like my language learning process through reading, reading in the target language, to use academic speak. So that's that on that. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention with this one that I'm not going to limit myself to this just being in the month of May, because similar to what I'm doing with El Ojo de Agua, I am having one of the people that I tutor in French read this, or buddy reading this book, as a way to get them to learn more French. And so it's the exact same process, that I will probably also maybe do this alongside. But anyway, my student is going to basically be reading this chapter by chapter, and the chapters are super short, so it's going to take a long time. And we're just kind of using this as like something that's more fun as a way of learning than, a textbook or just a lot of grammar exercises. So that's that. These two are more ones that I'm going to be reading over probably several months, but they will be started at least in the month of May. Next up is one that I'm very excited about, and I should also mention that, like, from here on out, like, barring Wellness by Nathan Hill, I am not holding myself to any order whatsoever. So let me just mention the ones that I'm hoping to read this month. So the next one is The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. Now, I saw Murphy Napier's review of this one on her like reading vlog, and it's basically like fantasy Sherlock Holmes, and apparently it's super atmospheric, and it does a really good job of evoking the world and the magic, and I guess people like augment themselves with plants, like instead of being a cyborg, giving yourself a prosthetic arm or like a robot arm, you give yourself like a plant arm or something like that, as far as I know. Anyway, Sherlock Holmes-esque. Yeah, it says part Sherlock Holmes, part Through the Looking Glass. And honestly, sounds pretty cool. Fantasy detective is definitely a genre or like subgenre of fantasy that I'm pretty into, because Terry Pratchett does it really well, and I'm excited to see how this one does it. But also, look at this cover. Isn't this cool? When I saw this, I immediately picked it up, because it just looks so cool. Anyway, also it's very much like a premise that I'm super into. Maybe with this one I can read you the... No, I don't want to know. Ooh, I cannot get comfortable with this posture. Okay, so another book that I hope to read this month is The Parisian by Isabella Hamad. Now, I read Enter Ghost by her in April, and I loved it. It's probably a new favorite book. And this book, as you can see, is quite a chunk, especially, like there's a lot of pages in general here. Like a lot of these books are quite long. So this one is about um, it says leads us on an extraordinary journey through the life and romances of one young man, from his studies in France during World War I to his return to Palestine at the dawn of its battle for independence. And yeah, I'm super passionate and super invested in the Palestinian quest for liberation. So I am very interested in learning more about their history, as well as just more from this author as well. The way that she wrote dialogue in Enter Ghost was, I was blown away. I think that it's the most authentic, most realistic dialogue I've ever read in any book ever. Um, and it was just so good. I loved everything about it. So I'm excited to read more from her, and definitely excited to see what this more historical novel is going to be like from her. And I have no idea if I'm going to finish all of these books in this month. We'll see. Okay, what else have we got? All right, so I guess this is actually the last book that I am attempting to read this month, and that is The Lonely Castle in the Mirror by Mizuki Tsujimura, translated by Philip Gabriel. This book is one of Allison Page's favorites. Her channel is phenomenal. I miss her dearly. I hope that she's doing well. I hope that she's had some health issues that has prevented her from the cats, that has prevented her from making videos, and I really miss catching up with her reading life, etc. But this is one of her favorites, and everybody that has described this book has said that it has a lot of Studio Ghibli vibes. The cats are playing, that's why there's noise in the background. Anyway, so it's like a very Studio Ghibli-esque movie, and I do know that this is being turned into a movie. I don't actually know which studio. That's going to be a question for editing, Tristan. Here it is. And I'm just very interested about this one. It's more of a young adult book, I think, but I know that it's like a magical castle, and the people that go to the magical castle solve a certain number of challenges, and if they solve all of them, whoever solves the last challenge gets to have their wish granted. And yeah, I'm really excited to read this one because it sounds cool, and I remember reading, when I picked this up, I read like the first page and a half or something, and I vibed with the writing quite well. So this is going to be one that I'm going to probably put higher on the priority. Maybe that's one I'm going to read after Wellness. But yeah, this one looks really cool. So, oh my gosh, and that's the other one I completely forgot. So I'm in a book club, and to my horror, they all found out about this channel. So hi, Brighton Book Club, how's it going, guys? We're gonna read The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. It's here in the frame, and that one I've heard nothing but good things about. Becky Chambers is a really up and coming, or just really popular sci-fi author at this moment in time, on YouTube, on Instagram, everything. And I'm really excited to read that book because it sounds like a delightful sci-fi book. And sci-fi tends to be pretty hit or miss for me. I think that I really like a lot of sci-fi, so Adrian Tchaikovsky is very much a brand of sci-fi that I would very much vibe with, and I've listened to a little bit of Children of Time, and I like it. It's very much my vibe, but I think some of it gets very heavy, and not like heavy as in like dark topics or like severe topics. It's just like there's a lot of, it's very serious. And Becky Chambers, from what I understand, is a little bit more of the like lighthearted and cheerful and that kind of thing. So that's what I'm looking for. That's what we decided that we are looking for in the book club, because we had just read The Bee Sting by Paul Murray, and then also Enter Ghost by Isabella Hamad, which both of those dealt with some heavier subject matter, and I think that we wanted something a little bit lighter, at least in tone. So that's what we're going for with Becky Chambers, her book, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. So I'm very excited to read that one, and that will probably be pushed. That will be read at some point. But yeah, that's that one. But yeah, and then as always, I will have more books that I'm listening to on my Libby app that just as books come in from my holds, etc., that will be in no particular order. I have no idea which ones I'm going to actually finish and read by the end of the month. We'll see. But yeah. So yeah. How many times can I say, but yeah, so yeah? I guess we'll find out. Yeah? So, that's it for the video. I know that some of these are ones that people are pretty excited about, especially Lonely Castle in the Mirror and probably The Tainted Cup. I think that those are ones that I've seen several places around YouTube. So if people have read them or are like going to read them, let me know, because I'm very curious about what other people are thinking about them. I think I'm most excited about Lonely Castle in the Mirror. I'm probably going to read this one after I finish Wellness, to be fully honest. And I guess in the end, it's actually not too many books, considering the top two are ones that I'm probably going to be reading over the course of several months. So it's really just these four. I say really just these four as if they're not huge books, and two of them being over 500 pages, and one of them being decently heavy subject matter. But who cares about that? I guess not. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about all of these. I think that the last couple months have definitely been some successes for reading just in general for me, and I am pretty sure that I'm going to be on track to having another successful reading month this month in May. But we will see. That's the video for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, give this video a like if you enjoyed what you see here, and subscribe if you feel so inclined if you're new. I would definitely love to grow the channel so that I can talk with more people and get more engagement, because I started the channel to talk about books, and so I would love to talk about books with y'all. So, thank you again so much for watching. We love an abundance of gratitude, and I will see you again very soon. All right, bye everybody.